Now, whatever database I already have in my genetic center, how can I purify it? Purification of genetic center. Maharishi has given 3 techniques, and I now invite Assistant Professor Anand Raj to throw us, to enlighten us about the purification of genetic center, the 3 methods what Maharishi has given us. Anand, are you ready?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Good morning, all. Be blessed by the divine. I think the screen is clear, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Screen is clear, but you, I think, yeah, fine.
Yeah, so far we heard some beautiful explanation about the genetic center. What is the significance of it, and what is the importance of its functioning, and how much important to keep it pure also. And also how dangerous it will be if we are not maintaining it as pure also, right? With some great examples, we went through those facts so far. And Maharishi has given some kind of practices so far, whatever we have learned, right from the step 1, like physical health, physical exercises, meditation, and introspection. All those 3 practices are giving a greater support in removing our imprints, whatever we have acquired so far. And additionally, we are going to see the 3 ways how the imprints are getting removed from our genetic center. That's what we are going to see now in this section. So before going to that 3 ways, just start of summarizing whatever we have discussed so far, like what are imprints and how they are stored in our genetic center, so that we will be able to understand how these 3 methods are working in removing the imprints also. Okay, basically the imprints are kind of magnetic waves. So how they are getting generated within us when we are spending our biomagnetism by interacting with certain objects or persons who are around us. So when we make some kind of interaction, that will be creating some experience within us. Those experiences are stored as imprints in our genetic center. So now there are 2 kind of imprints. One is like the positive imprint, which we acquire through the noble deeds, and the other one is the negative imprints, which is acquired through the sinful deeds. So just we will see some definition of the sinful deeds now. The actions, whatever we do, are producing some result. Here the actions include thoughts, words, and deeds. All 3 are considered as action for this discussion, because all those are going to create some kind of experience and end up acquiring some imprints. So that is the reason we are taking all 3 here. So every action we do will be producing a result. So according to that nature, so here the example is taken as smoking. So when smoking is an action done by a person, so there will be a result which will be creating a health hazard in a later age or at any point of time in his life, definitely, which we might have seen that, right? So if the result harms self or others, physically or mentally, present or future. So this is the definition Maharishi is giving for categorizing the deeds as noble deeds or sinful deeds. According to the result of that action, when it is creating a harm either to the self or others, physically or mentally, at present or future. Based on these 3 factors, the nature of deed is decided, and those are categorized as sinful deeds. And again, the noble deeds, every action, when we do that, when it is ending up giving benefit to self or others in the same way, present or future, so those are categorized as noble deeds. And again, every action will be having a results, definitely, whatever it is, either sinful deed or noble deed. So those results are compressed in a format of imprints and stored in our genetic center. That will be again through the habit. So we were all answering some of the question asked earlier, right? How the law of nature is executed through the genetic center. So it will be imprints will be creating a habit within us, or it will be reflecting as thoughts and ending up doing an action. And again, that will be resulted as a pleasure or pain for us. So recording of imprints, this is also explained some time back. So the imprints are being recorded in 6 different places. One of them is genetic center. So that is one significant point from where we will be getting it back. That is like law of nature is executing the decisions also through that. That is the reason we are talking about the purification of that. So other than genetic center, the imprints are stored in 5 different places also. Quickly we'll go through the body and sense organs. The imprints of the actions will be stored in this point. And in the brain cells, the imprints of thoughts are stored. In biomagnetism, imprints of reflection. The life force particles will be storing the superconscious imprints. So this is where we are acquiring quality which we talked earlier, right? Perspicacity. So this kind of superconscious imprints will be stored in the life force particles. So we'll be getting some intuitionary information according to that. So the 6th one, the universal magnetism. It is when the imprints are stored in the universal magnetism, even though there is no manifestation of that imprint, it will be creating some kind of hazard to entire society. So that is still dangerous, higher than the genetic center. So when we start purifying the genetic center and start accumulating the new imprints storing there, so we can avoid the higher one also. So again, the types of imprints that also we have talked about, from where we are getting the imprints before we born even, because we are all coming to this world only with the imprints, right? So these 3 set of imprints which we talked some time back, the Sanchita karma, which we are getting from the hereditary imprints, which is before our birth itself, from our parents, and all right from the first human being, even before that, from even non-living beings also, right from the 5 elements, and even before that, the absolute truthness. From that onwards, all the imprints are stored within us, which are categorized as Sanchita karma. So the second set of karma, imprints which we acquire in our life by our own deeds, which we are doing after the age of 3, those are categorized as the prarabdha karma. So the third one is called as akamya karma. That is a new imprints which will be acquiring through the actions which will be done by us, because this depends on the previous 2 karmas. So based on the Sanchita karma and akamya karma, prarabdha karma, we will be deciding our actions in the current moment. So by that action, whatever the imprints acquired is categorized as akamya karma. So all this, whatever the action we do, every action will have the result and imprinted within, which is not going as a base. That's what we are telling. So whatever the action we do, that result will be definitely stored, and it is going to be manifesting back to execute the law of nature. Okay, how we will be able to know that whether imprints are still there in our genetic center or no. So these are the indications which we can understand our genetic center is still having the imprints. So it is talking about the sinful imprints basically. So the physical ailments, we'll be getting some kind of diseases to our physical body. And the next one is blemishes in the soul. This is what we call, mainly Maharishi is categorizing as 3 blemishes within us, which is like ego, and yeah, the 2 items, and the unstable mind. So sometime back we talked about that also, right? Agitated mind, will be having a lot of confusions, will not be able to make right decisions on right time. So that kind of mind state also will be resulted due to the sinful deeds in our genetic center. The last one, 4th one, is the problems in life. So when we have all this, definitely problems will be increasing in our life. So these are the indications by which we know that the imprints are still more in our genetic center. So as we talked so far, the practices, what we learned so far, like from the physical exercise and meditation and introspection, that itself will be helping us to keep ourselves in awareness state and giving some kind of willpower to our mind. So that's what we call it as mental strength. The mental strength is increasing and the awareness state also will be maintained through this increased strength. So by these two factors itself, we will be able to achieve the purification of deeds, which ended up with purification of mind also, right? Because the mind, when it is functioning through the thought only, it is happening. So when the deeds are purified, so again parallelly we can purify our mind also. So as per law of nature, we have seen that every action brings forth a suitable result. So that is the way all the decisions are being executed. That's what we understood, right? So the law of nature is executing all based on our imprints. So using the same principle, what we are doing now, when the actions are reformed, so when we are doing a right action to get the desired result, so we will be able to change the result itself. So that is a technique we are going to use here, which is given by our Maharishi. So by doing more and more noble deeds, the sin imprints can be eradicated. So how to do the noble deeds more? That will be again keeping ourselves in the awareness state on continuous basis, and increasing our mental strength will support to be in the awareness state also. So mainly Maharishi is talking about 3 ways in which the imprints, sinful deeds or negative imprints, are getting eradicated from our genetic center. So these are the ways he's giving the list as. First one is expiation and dissipation, neutralization. So as we talked earlier, by doing the physical exercise itself, it is adding some kind of certain percentage of imprints from our genetic center is getting removed by doing only the physical exercises. So when we understand these 3 ways how those are getting eradicated, then we will be able to relate those practices and do that effectively. So that is the reason he has given this list to us. So let us go one by one now. So the first one, expiation. Expiation is a kind of technique. By realizing our mistake, we will try to work on the compensation part. What we can do to avoid that in future, of course. And also, even by feeling our mistakes and realizing our mistakes and asking our apologies to the people who are affected by those actions, and try to compensate the loss what is generated by that action, and again the seeking forgiveness. So all these are falling under this expiation category. Now we know that we have done a mistake and it affected certain people and we realized it. So we should not be leaving it in the same state due to our ego. So that is the reason these steps are explained to us to realize that and how to utilize this to purify our genetic center. We will be able to remove that kind of imprints, sinful deeds from our genetic center by doing certain actions which are listed here. Maybe some of the cases we will be able to realize our mistake, but we will not be able to see that person and ask apologies directly. So even mentally we can seek for apologies to that person. So that also will give an effect, because we all know that it's all our thoughts are working in a wave format, right? So whatever the waves we are generating, that will have an effect. So definitely we can create that effect also by utilizing this technique. So these are all falling under the first technique, which is known as expiation. So the second one is the dissipation. This is kind of a superimposition technique. So we have certain kind of old sinful imprints which is stored in our genetic center, and we are creating a coating above that by doing more and more noble deeds. When we do our positive actions, so we are deciding certain kind of actions based on the result, right? What is the desired result? Accordingly, you are deciding the action. So when we are changing that way, so the superimposing is happening. above the old sinful imprints. When we are creating the coating more and more stronger, so there will be no chance of getting manifestation of the old sinful imprint at all, because each has got a certain period. Maharishi is quoting in some places that the sinful imprint can be valid up to 120 years also. So that is the effectiveness of acquiring the imprints and removing it also. So we have to be very careful in handling that. But at the same time, if you are creating a positive, effective coating above that sinful imprints, we will be able to avoid the manifestation of it also. So this is the second technique which is given. For to understand this effectively, we can take some example which is shown here in the picture, doing exercise. So doing exercise, when you talk about today, the medical science is also accepting that if the parents are having some kind of diseases, they will be transferred through the genetic center to the children also. Particularly when you call about when you talk about diabetes, so majority of the children of the parents who are having diabetes are getting it again in their life also. But at the same time, by knowing this scientific fact, in early age, if the child start doing the exercise effectively and taking all precautions to avoid having diabetes in their life, we will be able to eradicate that, right? So that is the technique. So to understand that effectively, we are taking a common example, but it is applicable for all even serious problems in our life also. So that is the way we have to utilize this technique to create a stronger coating above the old sinful imprints. So the third one is called as neutralization. This is like a highest technique, neutralization or dissolution. All the sinful imprints will get dissolved by without manifestation. How that can happen? You should go to that stage, which is called like a perfection. So first step, we are all trying to achieve self-realization and then God realization, right? So once these two steps are achieved, we will be able to be on a virtuous life path. So whatever we do after reaching that stage, all will be having the divine quality, which is like love and compassion. So on that basis, when you lead our life on a virtuous path, there will be no additional imprints at all. So even when it is followed for a prolonged period of time, we will be able to dissolve all the old sinful imprints also, because this is the stage which is being one with the divinity, right? So that is what we are all trying to achieve. So in this stage, all the creation of new sinful imprints are prevented and the existing ones also will get eradicated. So this is what we are seeing, some practical examples with the Mahans who lived in this earth at various point of time. But the one who we know closely is our Guru Maharishi. So a lot of lively examples we can compare and try to understand the importance of this technique. So even Maharishi is mentioning that we all will be able to achieve this stage, but we have to be on continuous awareness and virtuous life path. So those two are important steps to achieve this. So just to summarize now, for removing all the old imprints, realization of self and realization of God is required, and to prevent the fresh ones, following the virtuous life. So as we mentioned earlier, doing the meditation and introspection will help us to follow virtuous life strongly as we decide and as it has to be always. So when these both are followed by us effectively in our life path, so we will be able to attain the bliss, contentment, and peace. So through this step 4, we will be able to achieve peace in our life. So if you understand and follow this in our life. Okay, thank you. Be blessed by